Hi Libra, welcome to your mid-August reading. This is actually your Mercury retrograde reading. I lost my voice from whispering in the Cancer and Leo video. So it turns out whispering is worse for you than talking at a low tone. This is the only tone at which I can speak and that my voice will actually come out. So here we are. And so I can't shuffle the cards and hold the microphone this close to my face. So we will do the astrology first, the card second. And then in the extended, we've been doing rapid fire tarot, which I really like, from Aries to Pisces and how each sign relates to you from now until September 15th when Mercury retrograde ends. The retrograde will begin on the 23rd in the sign of Virgo. So for those of you who are Libra rising, that is in your 12th house. Okay, let's go. First up, love-related drama comes back around. This could be because of lack of discretion. It could also be because you let somebody back in who you know their goals don't match your goals, their aspirations don't match where you want to go, and the attraction is based on perhaps self-sabotage. You may be surrounded by people who don't believe in you. And so the way you internalize that and then exemplify it in your behavior is by choosing somebody whose goals don't match, whose station in life doesn't match yours, and not in terms of economics necessarily, but their imagination isn't quite as vast as yours. They can't even begin to imagine the life that you see for yourself, is what it comes down to. So, moving on. When it comes to your interpersonal relationships, anyone or any aspect of your life where you are trying to manipulate the truth or strong arm or pressure people into doing what you want them to do or thinking what you want them to think turns on you, regardless of if you are in the right or not. There is something particularly distasteful right now about Libra imposing their will on others, regardless of if you're doing so in a friendly way or in a more forceful way. The tendency to come across as a bully is very strong right now. And so whether you're doing this for the good of others or you believe it's your right to demand whatever it is that you're asking for, the way that it comes across is surprising to you. The wins and losses of karma that are enacted on you right now are all coming as a surprise to you. However, Mercury retrograde is right, this is going to happen as we're also still in Venus retrograde. So give your team another look. The people around you are not who you think they are. And that can be because of them, but can also be because of your misconception of your place in their life. Regardless of where this misunderstanding is, you are not as high up on their priority list as you think they are, as you think you are. In late August, that doesn't mean that things can't progress past that. If this is someone who you are looking at in terms of love, romance can bloom in late August regardless of how they feel about you at the present moment. But it is very important for you to, regardless of how they feel about you, regardless of who wants you, doesn't want you, who wants to hire you, who wants to fire you, you have to give everyone around you another look, because anyone who is not specifically looking to protect you right now is not somebody that you should have around you. Now, whether or not that protection is warranted, whether or not, there are many arguments there. People could say, well, you're, old enough to look after yourself. That may be true, but for you personally right now, you know that because of this karma that's come calling, that you do need help. You need help with debt. You need help with money. You need help with being honest with yourself. You need help with dealing with the consequences of your actions. So irrespective of how you should be handling things, how you should be able to handle things, you do need help right now. And it's okay for you to say that to the people around you. And it's also okay for the people around you to say, this is more than what I signed up for. I'm not really into this. You need to have somebody else look after you. So just as you're allowed to ask for help and you're allowed to be honest about how much you need, you can also you should also be accepting of the fact that there are people out there who don't want to give you that. Don't be resentful later about what you've put into a relationship if you don't want to address it right then. So if these are people who you have helped in the past, these are people who owe you, and they're saying, listen, I can't be here for you right now when your debts are emerging, when karma is coming to call, if these people who you have helped out are not going to be there for you, you need to be honest about that. You need to confront them. Even though I know you don't like confrontation, do it in the nicest way possible, because you're just going to be resentful later that they weren't there for you. And you won't end up being friends with them anyway. So just say it however you want to say it. Again, they have the right to say back to you, I'm not here for you. I'm not your keeper. I don't have to look after you. And in that case, you know where you stand with them. Right? It isn't everybody's job to look after you, but it's also incumbent on you to find people who you can lean on when you need to. So, co-workers can easily turn on you. This is a time where this like demanding bullying thing that I was talking about a little bit ago, it can very much turn on you in a work setting, in a setting that has to do with money. Your luck is not the best right now. So wherever you start to push when it comes to coworkers, when it comes to money, when it comes to joint projects, you will find that that situation breaks. And when it breaks, it can shatter in a way where the pieces don't come back together, but also it can really affect your reputation. So be very, very careful with how you get in and out of situations right now. Being a bull in a china shop is just going to destroy your reputation. So just don't do it. Be as diplomatic as possible right now. So one of the other things that comes up when it comes to health and wellness is this question that Venus retrograde has been asking you, but now Mercury retrograde is going to ask you as well. What does health mean to you? What are your intentions when it comes to caring for yourself? Are you someone who beautifies themselves and pretties themselves and enhances this or that about themselves for yourself? Or is it for others? Or is it for attention? Or is it for a specific sort of affirmation? What does the intentionality say about you, and how does it affect the actions that you're taking? Are you doing what you're doing because it makes you feel good? Are you doing what you're doing so other people will tell you things that then make you feel good? Is it for others? Is it obsessive? And why is it obsessive? Is it the need for affirmation from others that's actually causing the obsessive behavior? Because if you can do things that are meant to be health and wellness, but if you're doing them with this obsessive urge of getting from others, then that health and wellness is actually deteriorating you, right? It's a big question, and we're going to explore it in the cards to some length. Now, when it comes to traveling, when it comes to money and traveling, it's really important to remember that right now you may not have as much as you think you have. And that's nobody's fault, but you need to be on top of that. And if that means that you can't go somewhere, don't go. The worst thing that you could do right now is to go somewhere without enough resources, because the way that this like karmic seesaw is working for you guys right now, the way your scales are moving, I wouldn't get stuck outside of the country without money. So if you know yourself that you really don't have as much as you should have to be somewhere else, don't go. Wait. Things at the end of September will get a lot easier, and it really does depend on what you do with the karmic fruition that's coming right now. Can you accept it? Can you be humble? Can you see your part in things? Can you apologize? Can you try in your own way to see where your responsibility lies, instead of just, kind of switching the accountability, flipping it from scale to scale until people just forget and like get tired of waiting for you to take accountability? How long does that game work, and do you want to keep playing it? There's a lot of questions here, and we'll look at all of them when we look at the cards. You can have access to the extended through a instant video link, a Vimeo link, or a Patreon link. There's also a link for personal readings and a link for tickets to the New York City event, which is going to be sold out, I'm pretty sure. Okay. Love you. Hi, Libra. Welcome to part 2. And look at the cards. And then we'll go straight into the extended. And in the extended, we're doing rapid fire tarot, Aries to Pisces. Taking a look at the relationship between you and all 12 of those energies, including your own. But first, let's take a look at what Mercury retrograde is going to look like from August 23rd to September 15th. In the extended, we'll take a look at September 15th to the end of September as well. So first card out here is the King of Cups. You are approaching this time with quite a lot of romantic enthusiasm. And it does seem like there are people who are very interested in you. But there's that thing again of familiarity but not commonality. Lots of love, familiarity, you're on the same page about so much. And yet there is something holding you back. I thought I lost a card. I'm just gonna look real fast. I guess not. I could move the whole desk. Actually, I feel like moving the whole desk. I just want to make sure there's nothing underneath. Nope. There's nothing there. Okay, sorry about that. Now, there's more than one person. There's more than one sort of energy that's pursuing you. There's more than one concern. There are concerns here that are financial, there are concerns that are emotional, concerns about long-term stability, and who the right person is, work-wise, partner-wise, to help you there. Because you do feel like you need help, and that's okay. You're allowed to feel that way. You're allowed to be honest about where you are in your process. You're allowed to say, hey, I've isolated about this as long as I can, and now I need some help. I need some advice. I've been trying to go this alone, and I don't think I can. I think I need the advice of my crew, my family, my friend group, because I feel like I keep making the wrong choices. There are also those of you who have made some choices that go against the group, whatever that means to you, and the consequences have been dire. So if you find yourself looking for a new group, looking for a wider social circle, perhaps you're just completely tired of your social circle because as you have these potentials come in romantically, you're seeing that your circle doesn't really suit who you want to be next and the kind of person you want to date next. So it's a little bit of a reverse engineering, but you're looking at people, you're interested in them, and it's making you question who you have been hanging out with, who you have been working with, because you don't necessarily feel like they're making the best impression. Now, there are a lot of people who would like to propose love to you at this time, and that's really obvious. But your hesitancy and your criticism of this, or just being cynical about it, is actually very healthy because it's based on something real. It's based on your pulling back and being really patient and understanding that your calm is what's really at stake here. Your calm is having 100% effect on your health. Your calm is what's attracting or repelling people from you. And your calm is disturbed when especially the romantic aspects of your life feel like they're taken out of your hands, like somebody else has control of that part of your life, even if they're just taking initiative. And that should essentially be a good thing. It can feel like it's outside of your control. So you don't want someone, intruding on that space. You'd rather have it be a deliberate thing where you're going to your friends and family and saying, hey,
I need some outside advice, but I don't want outside advice from this person, because all they're going to do is advocate for themselves. Whomever these guys are, these women, these guys, or the rest of us, whomever they are, they're only going to advocate for themselves. You can't trust them because, they're applying for the job. But you can take everything that you've observed very quietly and take it to people you trust. Now, if you're having problems finding people you trust, that's a big theme for you with Mercury retrograde, is figuring out who the fuck you need to stay away from. Because there are people here who are very set in their ways, they're very dogmatic, and they have a really clear idea of where they're going in life. And this is not where you are right now, or if you are there right now, this is not something they want you to take part in with them. This is their thing that they're doing for themselves. So if this was a situation where you felt you could hitch a ride, or you felt like you could hitch your, cart to their horse, that's not working out well at all. This person is not interested in that, and their path is very singular. This strikes me as someone who has no problem with you running parallel to them, but will absolutely not let you hitch your wagon to their horse. So be careful with this association here, because you're relying too heavily on someone who is not trying to be there for you. And I think I mentioned that in the astrology as well. Lots to say about this Cancer and this Taurus and this Virgo when we get to the extended. Now, because you are romantically insisting that you make decisions, without this other person, without the other party's insight, you're also having to make some business decisions where you're not meeting as people and much. And I suspect that you'll be having to make some friendship decisions based on this newfound information during Mercury retrograde as well. During the retrograde, you realize that someone that you think is really close to you actually doesn't care how their actions reflect on you. And if you happen to be going through a hard time and they're still acting in a way that makes you look culpable, that's not your friend. That's someone who's talking a lot, saying a lot of very sweet things, but oh my God, look at them. They would like nothing better than to see you fall apart. Everything they're saying to you, all the sweet words, all the encouragement, it's so you will fall apart. This is the South Node in Libra now rearing its head and saying, look at what you've allowed to pass through your filters. Look at the people that you've allowed to be around you. Look at how close this person has gotten to you. And they truly do not want you to win. And if you're wondering, well, who is that person? It's whomever you've been looking at lately and going, are you kidding? Why are you acting like this? Do you know how bad this is making me look? Don't you care how quickly you're destroying what I've created? That person is not your friend. That person is not your ally. Even if they have helped you in the past, they are not your ally. They're just talking a bunch of shit to you. And everything they're saying to you, ultimately what they would like for you is chaos. And you know this. But that diplomacy keeps you from saying anything. Aries to Pisces in the extended, and we'll go deeper into this Mercury retrograde September 15th till the end of September. I'll see you there. Love you.